Hi guys, welcome back to INnerSANITY. I'm Jennifer. Today is Tuesday, and that means it's Tuesday Talks. And today we are going to be talking about unusual or underrated books. So, I have some. For those of you who don't know, Tuesday Talks is a group created by Janie and Janelle in the GoodReads community, and I will leave links to the group below, and feel free to join and come in on the talks. So, I found this topic a little bit hard because unusual or underrated books. Well, I don't know. I kind of was stumped. But I went looking around my shelves and I found some books that I have not really heard anybody talking about in the book community so far, as much as I've seen. So I picked some out, and I have only read about 3 of them. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll get started with The First Time by Joy Fielding. Now, Joy Fielding is one of my favorite authors, and I had the pleasure of meeting her when she came to Winnipeg and went to McNally Robinson and talked about her book that was out at the time. And I got a picture and her autograph, and it was very nice, and she was lovely. So this book I read, I think while I was pregnant. There's a weird noise there. I'm hearing things. I read this while I was pregnant, probably, well, about 14 years ago almost, something like that. And this is about a woman, Maddie. Her name is Maddie Hart. And she discovers that her husband is having yet another affair, and he moves out. And then she discovers that she has Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. And it's basically about her dealing with that, and the husband moves back in to help her handle her situation, and they kind of rediscover each other again for the first time, and they fall in love because they had gotten married, I guess because she was pregnant, and they were very young, and I guess they didn't really love each other, but they reconnect. And I laughed out loud at some parts, because I love Joy Fielding's writing. I think it's fantastic. Her books are always, they've got that sort of underlying sense of humor that's not really laugh out loud funny. I don't think it's supposed to be like joke funny, but for me, I laugh out loud because, I don't know, I get it or something. And her books are always very touching and very good character development. And I absolutely adore all of her books. Yes, I highly recommend this book. She's got tons of others as well, which are a lot higher rated than this one. I don't see a lot of people talking about this at all. I cried and I laughed and I felt good, and I recommend getting this book and reading it. I've got 2 books by this author, and this is Katrina Kittle is the author. So I have The Kindness of Strangers, which is the winner of the Great Lakes Book Award in Fiction, and 2 Truths and a Lie. The material in the books is a little bit disturbing, in The Kindness of Strangers especially, I think. So this one is about a young widow who's raising 2 boys. She has a friend that her family gets sort of torn apart, and she ends up taking in her friend's son into their house and fosters the child, and I'm assuming that he's troubled and starts causing a lot of problems in her own home, and I think there's delicate issues that go on and disturbing things that happen. I don't know, I always find that sort of thing interesting to read about, you know, the disturbing, upsetting things that go on in families and psychological things that happen to children, and I don't know, I find it interesting, and So I'm excited to read this when I finally get around to it. And then her other book, Two Truths and a Lie, it's about a woman named Dare, D-A-I-R. And she's a master at weaving stories out of thin air, so I guess she tells a lot of lies. And yeah, a natural actress, she leads a life that's a minefield of untruths she can never admit to anyone, especially not to Peyton, which is her husband of 8 years. The bizarre death of her best friend and a fellow actor, initially thought a suicide, then believed to be murder, is forcing Dare to confront the big lie that led Peyton to fall in love with her in the first place. It says Dare is struggling to find answers, taking steps that could well lead to the destruction of her marriage, her career, and even her freedom. But everyone around her has secrets and something to hide. Dare's determination to unravel the decade-old web of her own tightly woven deceptions is awakening inner demons she has fought hard to control and revealing that she's closer to a killer than she ever imagined. So again, this deals with, probably disturbing issues, and they're both contemporary reads, but I think they both sound really good, and I have not heard anybody talk about them. And then this one I have is The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman, and this book is really small. It's even smaller than it looks because it's only 36 pages. It was originally written in 1892, and it's been rediscovered and reprinted by the Feminist Press. And it's a narrative of confinement and madness. This woman is confined to a bedroom in a house. Because they think that she has a nervous condition when actually she's suffering postpartum depression. So, I guess back then they just thought, lock them up and don't let them do anything. And she basically goes crazy, and there's nothing to look at but the yellow wallpaper, and it's sort of her unraveling. And yeah, I found it pretty disturbing near the end. And it really makes you think, about times back then and about the human psyche. So that one is another good book that I haven't heard a lot about, and it's unusual. And then I have Come Closer by Sarah Gran. And again, I haven't written this one. I haven't read this one. I'll just read the back here because it sounds cool. Are you possessed by a demon? I have new activities and pastimes that seem out of character, and I do things that I did not intend and do not understand. I guess this is a checklist. I can understand languages I've never studied, and have the ability to know things I couldn't know through ordinary means. I have blackouts not caused by drugs, alcohol, or a pre-existing health condition. I have urges to hurt or kill animals and other people. I have hurt or killed animals or other people. And then it says, unexplainable noises in the house, strange incidents at work, a recurring dream featuring a seductive but terrifying woman. Are these signs of insanity, or is Amanda, a happily married architect, an unwitting host to a demonic presence? In this spare, unnerving novel, Sarah Gran casts a cold eye on the horrors that can await us in the margins of everyday life. See, now this is just like the kind of thing, I was talking about. I love books like this that have madness to them and unexplained psychological things going on. So this one is another one I haven't heard anything about. I haven't read it, but it's not very long, so it wouldn't probably take me too long to read, so maybe I'll get to that as well in January. And then finally, I have Haunted by Chuck Palahniuk. I absolutely love the cover. That's why I bought it. I never finished the book, but I'm just over halfway done. This one is bizarre and weird and strange and gross, and it's a novel made up of 23 horrifying, hilarious, and stomach-churning stories. The gist is a bunch of people that answered an ad for a writer's retreat, and they unwittingly joined a Survivor-like scenario where the host withholds heat, power, and food. And as the storytellers grow more desperate, their tales become more extreme, and they ruthlessly plot to make themselves the hero of the reality show that will surely be made from their plight. This is one of the most disturbing and outrageous books you'll ever read, one that could come only from the mind of Chuck Palahniuk. So, it is very weird. The first story is called Guts, and it's gross. Yeah. I don't want to tell you about it, but it involves a swimming pool and intestines. But that's all I'm going to say about it. So yeah, this book, it's good and it's interesting and it's funny. There's funny parts. It's like the way it's written is funny. The people are very, very strange. They're very, very weird. So if you're into that kind of thing, pick this book up and check it out. So those were my unusual and underrated books. I don't know if they're actually underrated, but I definitely haven't heard much about them. What do you think? Have you guys read any of these books? And what are some of your underrated or unusual books that you have to share? You can leave in the comments what you think. And thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you like what you see. And tune in next time when I'll have another video for you. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye.